What up, people? It's your boy. In today's video, we're going to be talking about the controversy between Ime Udoka, LeBron James. We're also going to be talking about the in-season tournament, what I think about it thus far. We're also going to be chopping it up a little bit about the Dallas Cowboys. You guys know I'm a huge Dallas Cowboy fan. I'm more of a objective Dallas Cowboy fan, but, nevertheless, I digress. Could you please do your boy a favor? Can you please do your boy a solid before, listening to the rest of this video? Hit the like button, share this with your friends, family, and followers. Be sure to subscribe and enjoy. You will not be disappointed, not by the slightest. And let's begin. The first order of business, the first thing on the docket is the game involving the Los Angeles Lakers and the Houston Rockets. Now, I saw it was a couple of nights ago. I watched that game from start to finish live. I didn't think anything transpiring from that game was going to carry over because of, at that particular time, there was a lot of topics, particularly in the NBA, that, people can just gravitate to. The Josh Giddey situation over there with OKC. You got the in-season tournament, what people thought about it thus far. You had some, you just had a lot of topics, particularly in the NBA, but sports in general, the NFL, I just thought that this story, whatever happens in this game was not going to have any carryover. And boy, I was mistaken. So the next night, everybody is, on television. You got your Undisputed, you got your ESPN First Take, you got all of these daily shows talking about this, and they're still talking about it to this day. They're still talking about it. And I heard what Kendrick Perkins said about what transpired between Ime Udoka and LeBron James. I'm going to talk about it a little bit later. I heard what Stephen A. Smith said. I heard what Shannon Sharp said, Skip Bayless, Richard Sherman, Keyshawn Johnson. Other than Skip Bayless slightly, it's the same, people that, work for the LeBron James Royal Guard. All right. Anytime LeBron James is in the news, even when he's totally wrong, somehow these guys come together like Voltron and try to explain it away, or saying, LeBron James is 100% right and whoever LeBron James has a beef with is 100% wrong. All right. You just got that narrative, particularly with Richard Sherman, Kendrick Perkins, particularly with Shannon Sharp. I'm missing somebody else, but Keyshawn Johnson. It's always the cliche. LeBron has done so much, been in the league for over 20 years, and this, that, and the third. Whatever. Okay, you had the LeBron apologists just come in full force. All right, so if you've been living on the rock, allow your boy to explain that game a couple of nights ago. Dylan Brooks, the Houston Rockets, Ime Udoka, that was not their best game. They lost to the Los Angeles Lakers, and Ime Udoka was fuming. You can tell courtside, I was watching it from television, but you can tell when he was walking back and forth courtside that he was frustrated and livid, not only at his team, but at, just about everything, including LeBron James. LeBron James has been on this tour of complaining about how the referees are calling the game and they're not calling the right calls and things of that nature. And this is typical. This is the typical pattern of LeBron James. All right. He complains about how the referees are calling the game and early, and when the referees call it too closely, he complains again about how come the referee just can't just let us play. All right, damn if you do, damn if you don't. But anywho, this is a normal pattern of LeBron James, and LeBron James was complaining, and Ime Udoka, who wasn't happy first and foremost, his team is losing. But secondly, they're losing to a team that was fighting fire with fire. They became the aggressors. They became the tough guys. And Ime Udoka said even after the game, we got beat by some wannabe tough guys. All right. And he didn't really talk too much about LeBron James, about his exchanging words with LeBron James. If you read a lot of articles, the people that was actually there, he said the following: LeBron James stopped acting like a bee, crybaby, and this, that, and the third. Stop complaining and all that. And LeBron James, hey, you can't use those type of words. I think he said you can't use those type of words around me, or you can't use those type of words on the court, whatever. And Ime Udoka said, I'm a grown man. Okay, two guys just going arguing back and forth. But in life, it's a game. In life imitates chess, not checkers. And LeBron James knew that Ime Udoka already had one technical. And that's why he came over to Ime Udoka, to irritate him. So Ime Udoka would say something or do something to get him tossed out of that particular game. Because LeBron knows how this goes. If Ime Udoka would have stuck around, and the way how he was, fire and brimstone, and he's already mad at his team. He just did not want the Houston Rockets to come from behind and beat them. If Dylan Brooks and that young crew of the Rockets, that clearly the Houston Rockets are inexperienced. Okay, they're young, dumb, and full of what. All right, and they're learning the hard knock lives on the fly. And there's no really established veteran presence or leadership. Yeah, Dylan Brooks and a handful of other guys. But, it's going to take time for the veterans to mend well with that young core, because that young core hasn't been through a lot of stuff. Some things you have to just go through instead of, talking someone and trying to explain to people what they're actually going through. Okay, so anyway, LeBron knew that if Ime Udoka would have stayed, he would have sparked life in the Houston Rockets, and maybe the Houston Rockets would have came back, got it close, or happened to win the game. And also in the NBA, teams rarely play defense, but when they start to put the practices of defense in a game, particularly when they're behind, surprise, surprise, in some of those outcomes, a lot of those teams come back from behind because they're starting to play defense. Today's NBA is more about offense, more about scoring. That's what gets the highlights on Sports Center, and this, that, and the third. Coaches want teams, and you're starting to see a trend with younger teams that, really doesn't have a superstar, on their team, where the coach could have some type of influence and control on the team, and practice defense a lot more. A lot of veteran teams, a lot of teams that are quote unquote super teams, they don't want to practice defense, all the time. They just want to, score, shoot. All right. So Ime Udoka, like I said, life is chess, it's not checkers. And that's why LeBron James walked over to spark something out of Ime Udoka, and he did. And Ime Udoka got ejected. And low key, I think Ime Udoka wanted to get ejected because he's seen enough. Okay, and after the game, Ime Udoka didn't say too much. LeBron James didn't say too much either. But after the game, like a day or so later, you have all these talking head shows talking about this, that, and the third. And you had Kendrick Perkins throwing salt on Ime Udoka. You had Shannon Sharp throwing salt on Ime Udoka. And then he said, if I was there, he said, with that type of attitude and that type of tone, no wonder you lost your job with Boston, messing around or saying something to the effect of, you called me a bee, but you was hanging around a bunch of bees, and that's why you lost your job over there with the Boston Celtics. I just think that cringes, just trying to hit below the belt, taking it way too personal. And it just goes to show we're living in a sensitive society where people can't handle criticism. People can't handle someone toughening up to them. And there's a lot of guys out there that will resort to, hitting below the belt, bringing people's wives in their constant battle with another person, or what happened at their job, or what happened in their house, and things of that nature. When you're not clever enough, or you're not tough enough to look someone in the eye and just go back and forth with them, a lot of this is verbal, a verbal battle, okay? And it's nothing personal. It's just at that moment, temperatures are at a high, and the best course of action is to stand your ground, stand on your business, and show the person that's having an attitude with you that you can throw arrows at their way too without hitting below the belt. But that's Shannon Sharp, okay? He's a LeBron James stan. Keyshawn Johnson is a LeBron James stan. Richard Sherman is a LeBron James stan, and Kendrick Perkins as well. As JJ Redick, he's been exposed as being a stan. Okay, you don't hardly see him on ESPN that much. Okay, but you get my drift. The media is too soft. They don't. They want to take sides. I wouldn't say they're soft, but they also want to take sides, and they want to take sides on the popular side. Whatever is the popular side, or whatever the side that helps them out in their career, or helps them out with gifts and things of that nature, or liking posts and things of that nature, building your portfolio, particularly as a content creator, particularly as a personality or an influencer. That's why you can't really listen to these talking heads on these shows, because they all have agendas, all right? And they have to feed the beast, and the beast right now is LeBron James, all right? So I want to say, first and foremost, I feel like, first and foremost, this whole story is ridiculous, okay? It's ridiculous on all fronts, okay? Here we are talking about a game in the early part of the NBA season. We're not even at the All-Star break. At the end of the day, this game means nothing when we get to the end of the season, or closing in on the season. People are going to forget about this game. This game means absolutely nothing to the Houston Rockets, to the future of the Houston Rockets, and the future of the Los Angeles Lakers. I said before the NBA season started that I feel like the Houston Rockets, with the addition of Ime Udoka and Dylan Brooks, and I forgot the other point guard that used to play for the Lakers. From Toronto. Anyway, I said this was going to be a very competitive team, because they have a lot of young horses there, and all they just need is experience, some veteran leadership, a coach, a developing coach such as Ime Udoka, a presence like him around. They're going to be a very competitive team, and who knows? They may make it into the playoffs, but I didn't put a lot of stock in it, but I did say that there was going to be a very competitive team. And thus far, I've been proven right. The Houston Rockets, are very competitive. They're not just laying around and letting people just beat them. They're not cellar dwellers. They're not trying to get into the draft. They're, despite the controversies of the Houston Rockets, they're handling their business. Okay, they are what we thought they were. All right, so when you got Ime Udoka, it's earlier in the season. This game doesn't register for anything as far as what's going to transpire as far as the future of the Houston Rockets or the Los Angeles Lakers. I also said, when I was earlier in the season, I just did not see, I like the additions that the Los Angeles Lakers have done to stay somewhat competitive. But at the end of the day, the talented teams are going to prevail. And I just don't believe in the Los Angeles Lakers. All right. Not that highly like the other, like the talking heads and everyone else has been saying about the Los Angeles Lakers. All right. So, it's already, this game means nothing, as far as the end of the season goes. Secondly, I want to talk about Ime Udoka for just a quick second. And, Ime Udoka, when he was going through his situation with the Boston Celtics, and I remember this as clear as day, when they relieved him of his duties and just told him to stay home, and while they were trying to orchestrate a way to get from Ime Udoka. Now, allegedly, he was messing around with some staff members' wives or wife. Okay. And I even remember how when news inklings of this was popping up, we had a lot of these content creators, I'm not going to mention no names, but you had a lot of these content creators when the rumor was what happened, there was no really concrete proof of this actually being true. But I noticed a lot of content creators on social media, I'm not going to mention no names, immediately wanted to jump the gun and started to show pictures of female staff workers and that work for the Boston Celtics. I think that was a female coach or a training conditioning coach who was female, and people were plastering her name on social media. People making 2 or 3 videos a day saying, oh, this is the girl that was messing around with Ime Udoka. Then when we finally got the truth, of course, these same content creators, they're not going to say, I was wrong about that. They're definitely not going to say, my bad on posting your picture, posting this woman who has nothing to do with this, between Ime Udoka and whoever he's messing around with. All right. Showing people's families and kids and things. They're just disgusting things. But that's neither here nor there. Where I'm getting at. What I'm getting at is when Ime Udoka, the possibility of a coach getting a team landing Ime Udoka. Okay. And I remember Shannon Sharp saying this on Undisputed. I remember Stephen A. Smith saying it on ESPN before they got together, and now they're the tag team duo of First Take. I remember Kendrick Perkins sitting on this porch saying the same things, and Richard Sherman and Keyshawn Johnson when Keyshawn Johnson was working at the Worldwide Leader of Sports. I remember a lot of them were bigging up and saying that Ime Udoka didn't do nothing wrong, and they did Ime Udoka dirty, and they should immediately trade Ime Udoka to their favorite team. And guess what team all of those LeBron James apologists wanted Ime Udoka to go to before they They wanted Ime Udoka to be the coach of the Los Angeles Lakers. It's funny how time flies. It's funny how time flies. All of them saying, well, we would love to have Ime Udoka coach and wearing the purple and gold and being the coach of the Los Angeles Lakers. Remember that stuff? Do anyone remember that stuff? How everyone was sweeping under the rug that Ime Udoka was sleeping with someone's wife, which, attention to all you content creators on YouTube. I'm not even going to mention your name, because when I mention your name and when I get in your comment section and I tell you what you said, you immediately block my message. But that's cool. That's your platform. You have the right to do that. Okay? I know you don't want, I'm not wanting smoke. What's fair is fair, and what's right is right, and what's wrong is wrong. Okay? But I remember a lot of you content creators, as well as a lot of you LeBron James apologists, making video after video, segment after segment, wanting Ime Udoka to coach the Los Angeles Lakers. Ime Udoka was on high demand. Not only the Los Angeles Lakers, but the Brooklyn Nets. And you know what the funny part is? The Los Angeles Lakers and the Brooklyn Nets already had coaches. So not only you're promoting and big upping a guy who allegedly slept with someone's wife, okay, allegedly cheated on his own girlfriend, his girlfriend at the time, Nia Long with the cherry thong. Okay, the sacred trust that you got to have with your colleagues was broken. But none of that stuff mattered. But you guys wanted him to be the coach of the Los Angeles Lakers. You guys wanted him to be the coach of the Brooklyn Nets. You guys wanted him to be the coach of the Philadelphia 76ers at the time. You guys just said, forget what he did in Boston. That's light work. Who cares? That's water under the bridge. Hey, it wasn't my wife. It's funny how if Ime Udoka was accused of sleeping with these guys' wives or girlfriends or baby mamas or side chicks, would any of these guys will be in the same corner of the Boston Celtics? Would Shannon Sharp still be big upping Ime Udoka if Ime Udoka was messing around with his significant other? What about Kendra Perkins' wife? If Ime Udoka was alleged to be messing around with Kendra Perkins' wife, would Kendra Perkins still be bigging up him to another job? What about Keyshawn Johnson, Richard Sherman? Well, Richard Sherman and his situation with his baby mama, but I'm pretty sure he's dating somebody. It's funny how people have a different perspective when they don't have to deal with it, when the mess is not in their kitchen. But they still they see this guy as a commodity. They see this guy of importance. They see this guy as he may be a missing link to their favorite team. Hey, let's let him coach our team. But wait a minute. What about Ime Udoka messing around with a colleague's wife? Doesn't matter. Wasn't my wife. He's cool with me. What about the sacred trust, the brotherhood? We're family. None of that stuff matters. That's just boardroom talk. That's just stuff we say to the comment section or to social media. Who cares? All right. But nevertheless, these same people that bigged up Ime Udoka to coach and rep their team, and when he gets an opportunity, and I said there's a possibility Ime Udoka would never coach in the NBA. And I feel like the reason why he's still coaching in the NBA is because he had to say or do a lot of things to get in the good graces of not only with the Boston Celtics, somewhat in the good graces of the Boston Celtics, but to the NBA. They don't want another situation where there's a coach that's coaching an NBA team and fooling around with one of the players' girlfriends or wives. And I can't think of the guy. He was a prominent coach. He was coaching the New York Knicks. I should have Googled this, but hey, I'm pretty sure people in the comment section know who I'm talking about. They're going to comment down below who that I'm referring to. He was, oh my God, the light-skinned brother that does the All in Smoke podcast with Steven Jackson. His name escapes me as of right now. I can remember, I know Steven Jackson from All the Smoke podcast, but I don't know this guy. And I gave him so much praise, particularly on his journalistic takes. And this guy's going, this guy is going to blow up when you talk about traditional networks and things of that nature. I think he does work for ESPN a time or two. Well, I can't think of this guy's name. Got his face in the place, but his name escapes me. But that's neither here nor there. But the point is, this Ime Udoka was on the verge of not even coaching another NBA team again. He is allegedly messing around, fooling around with a staffer's wife. And he betrayed the trust. And that's something that, is hard to overcome. But Ime Udoka did, and he prevailed. He got his second chance. And now he's coaching the Houston Rockets. And it's a great fit for the Houston Rockets. Ime Udoka. Despite all what we just mentioned, he's incredible. He's a great motivator. He develops young talent. Look at the talent he developed that landed on his lap with the Boston Celtics. Jason Tatum, Brown. That core group was young when he had it, and he had them all the way into the NBA Finals. So the Houston Rockets struck gold landing him. And, he's doing some extraordinary things with the Houston Rockets. And at the end of the day, people are, this is a topic that's trending on social media, is trending on these talking head shows. But when the dust settles and the NBA season starts to wind down, this game is not going to mean nothing down the road. Okay. Moving on. All right. Von Miller and his estranged girlfriend was in the news. I think it was a day ago, 2 days ago, maybe over the weekend. There's now allegedly they had a dispute. We'll just say a dispute at a motel about travel arrangements or something. And, something happened in that room between Von Miller and his girlfriend. And whatever happened in that room, it surfaces on social media. It started blazing like a forest fire. And it gotten so bad where Von Miller had to, an arrest warrant was out for Von Miller. And it's funny how the media is saying that Von Miller is running from the law, okay? And it just goes to show that people don't even know how the justice system works, okay? Just because the police issue an arrest warrant and they're looking for the person that's included in this arrest warrant, doesn't mean that the person who has the arrest warrant is running away. This person has probably have no idea that there's an arrest warrant issue until his friends and family starts calling and texting him, going, hey, your significant other was talking to the police and she told me, they're looking for you, so you might want to, talk to the police, which he did. He turned himself in. He bonded himself out. And now that his estranged girlfriend, I don't know. I don't want to say that she was the one going around. She was the one that leaked all this stuff. I'm not going to say she did. Maybe someone in the police department did. Maybe it's great journalistic. A great journalistic job from the news crew to pick up this. Maybe they was listening to the scanner, whatever, the police scanner, whatever. Maybe it's a combination of everything. But now his estranged wife is going on social media and saying people are blowing this way out of proportion. Now, allegedly, we got to use the word allegedly. And I didn't see it. People that were talking about this saying there was visible marks around her neck area that may imply that they probably were fighting. Okay, but who knows? Von Miller's not talking about it. She's definitely not talking about it. And hey, man, to Von Miller, you can date whoever you want to date, but isn't this the same girl that you had issues with in the beginning? And then y'all broke it off, but then y'all got together again? Now, I know why you like that certain type of woman. And, but that certain type of woman is not hard to come by. I mean, all you have to do is go on Instagram and scroll, and you can find someone that duplicates that proportion of a woman. Obviously, you're not dating her because of her, what she brings to the table, or her intelligence. Obviously, it's looks. Okay, not saying that she's she's a baddie, but you done had history with this girl, and a lot of y'all history is not good history. Okay, but hey, to each his own. So that pretty much died down, and nothing else has been discussed nor talked about. And I guess life goes on. I don't know. All right. But it's just something that we had to talk about. All right. So moving on. We're going to be talking about the in-season tournament for the NBA and what I think about it. Now, the commissioner thought it would be a great idea to spark interest in the early part, the first half of the NBA season, by implementing this in-season tournament. When I heard about this, a lot of people thought that the NBA players were not going to take this serious. And this also, and a lot of people are not talking about this, this also come at the eve of the commissioner saying that they got protocols in place where players are not going to be able to just rest, missing games just because you're just missing games. They're going to make it difficult, and they're going to start finding teams. All right. And that it comes to on the eve of that, and hey, we're going to have an in-season tournament. Look, I think there's some excitement I think it's excitement for younger teams who came from college basketball, or or young teams that had a college basketball atmosphere. I think it's good for them to do an in-season tournament because they are used to those rigors. I think it's good for teams that wasn't going anywhere anytime soon. I think it's good for teams like that. And I really think it's good for veteran teams. You start to see the Suns and the Lakers, who are veteran from top to bottom, are hugely interested in the in-season tournament. And, you're starting to see less and less player, what is that? Resting players, star players, rest management. I forgot what the correct terminology it was. But anywho, you're starting to see less players just rest. The only player that rests for a good chunk of their time at that in their organization was James Harden. I was about to say LeBron James. LeBron James, man, what is that called? Greg Popovich started with the Spurs, and then LeBron James picked it up. A lot of players are starting to pick it up. But anyway, James Harden, when he was trying to orchestrate a trade to go to the Clippers, in between trying to get it official, he was, just laying low. All right. So I think the in-season tournament has some positive effects that way, but to a team that's, are looking at the bigger picture, like, yeah, it's great that we got this in-season tournament, but we're trying to get the title. Okay, we'll play through it to promote it, to hopefully it'll be here next year, and it gains momentum and development and growth and growth. But we're not going to go all in on it. Okay. I think everyone is putting their best foot forward to promote this in-season tournament. I think I want to say 95% of the ball clubs in the National Basketball Association is taking this very seriously. Okay. And but I do feel like if you look at the in-season tournament 5 years from now, I just think slowly but surely people are going to say, I understand what they were trying to do. They were trying to spark enlightenment to the first half of the NBA season. They're trying to sell the first half of the NBA season, even though people think the first half of the NBA season, people don't watch NBA basketball games in the first half. Normally, the true fans start watching until after the All-Star break and things of that nature. I get all that. I just think long-term, the in-season tournament, if there's no dangling carrot on why there should be an in-season tournament, then why do it? Okay. And I know the NBA is trying to experiment, trying to spark interest in the first half of the NBA season. I get all that, okay? But to me, I just don't think this is going to work long term. I just don't think it's going to work long term. And you know what? That's fine. That's fine and dandy. I just think to make this a successful ideal, it has to be a dangling carrot for the ball clubs. It's great for the fans. It's great for younger teams, younger NBA ball clubs. It's great for NBA players. It's great for veterans, particularly teams that are not going anywhere anytime soon. Okay, it's great for all that. You start seeing the competitive juices and things of that nature. I get all that. Okay, but I just don't think personally it's a good idea. Because why? There's no real need to do this. It in my humble opinion, there's nothing monetarily beneficial of having an in-season tournament in the first half of an NBA season, because it's going to absolutely mean nothing. Yeah, they're going to get an award, and they're going to get some time off, and yada yada yada. But I feel like teams that are trying to compete for an NBA title, they're going to try to do the in-season tournament and try to compete for an NBA title. And I feel like a lot of those teams are going to get injured. I think a lot of those teams are going to have problems along the way with their players. As far as injury wise, I just don't think it's a good look for a lot of ball clubs. That's just my humble opinion about it. But it's a good try. It's I'm not saying it's all the way bad, but to me, the in-season tournament is it's a great try, but to spark interest in the first half of the NBA season, you're gonna have to do much more. All right. But it's a good try for the NBA. I think NBA fans are going to like it. NBA players are going to like it. The media is going to like it. I just think long term, this is not a good plan. Short term, it is, but not long term. All right. So, moving on from that. All right. And I think this is going to be the final thing we're going to end this video. Is the Dallas Cowboys. Now, I'm an objective Dallas Cowboy fan. I can see the forest from the trees. I'm not one of these Dallas Cowboy fans like Skip Bayless and Michael Irvin that think every year the Dallas Cowboys are going to win. Okay? And I haven't been talking much about the Dallas Cowboys. Not on this channel, not on any channel. I'm a realistic Dallas Cowboy fan. However, I feel like the Dallas Cowboys have a solid team. Are there weaknesses in certain areas? Yeah, I can say that. Has Dak Prescott shown that he's going to lead the Dallas Cowboys into the promised land? Not yet. I still feel like the Dallas Cowboys and Dak Prescott is going to have one of those great games against the 49ers. They have to win against the 49ers. They're going to have to win against the Philadelphia Eagles for me to say, without a shadow of a doubt, this is their year. And they haven't done it yet. Like I said, I'm more of a realistic Dallas Cowboy fan. I can see the forest from the trees. Now, there's some Dallas Cowboy fans that can't see the forest from the trees, like Skip Bayless and Michael Irvin. There's some diabolical Dallas Cowboy haters, such as Stephen A. Smith. Every time the Dallas Cowboys lose, and they haven't lost often, he'll go to social media and mock the Dallas Cowboys. That's just his stick. But what I've seen thus far from the Dallas Cowboys, I'm very impressed with the defense. I'm starting to leap over the fence about Dak Prescott. He's starting to make me become a believer in him. Jerry Jones has, and a lot of people haven't been talking about this. Jerry Jones has not been hamming it up in front of the camera a lot, has not been doing a lot of interviews, has been pretty much quiet. And, that's it. I mean, it's still too early to determine whether or not the Dallas Cowboys are going to be contenders. But to me, they're going to have to win games like the 49ers and the Eagles to impress me. That's all I'm saying. All right. All right. So I'm about to wrap this video up. Don't forget to subscribe to my other YouTube channels. They're in the link in the description. I'm Chris Don 1 TV. I got 3 videos that's going to be posted today. Go check those videos out at your leisure. I'm Chris Don 1. I just posted a video yesterday. Go check that out at your leisure. Also, subscribe to my Instagram. Too early for this podcast. And that's it. I'll see you guys on the next video. Hope this holds you down until some news. I'm going to be real with you guys. It's been a slow news week, and that's why I haven't been cranking a lot of videos, particularly on sports topics, okay? But nevertheless, I'm the best. I'm up out of here. Deuces.